Bitcoin is set to go absolutely parabolic. We have China printing, JPL talking about another 50 basis point rate cut. We just had one of the best Septembers in Bitcoin's history. People, they're going to print bands this cycle. Many of you are going to hit 6, 7, or 8 figures in net worth. If you do sell out, you're going to be hit with the tax bill. Our job is to pay the least amount possible. So I bought on the Bitcoin accountant. I see Ohio has proposed a bill to accept Bitcoin for tax payments. Let's kick it off with this. What are your thoughts, firstly, on selling Bitcoin, and then two, on paying taxes in Bitcoin?
Well, let's start with the second one, Sean. First of all, thank you for having me here with you. It's a pleasure sharing with a Bitcoiner friend. And secondly, with taxes, we got a lot of options. The first one, I will start with fuck taxes. Second one,
I like that option.
We all do. And there might be ways. We have to indulge into investigating on how those things could happen without affecting anybody's economy, without affecting anybody's life. The other option would be to find the middle way, to see how the state continues to provide services and be compensated for it. But for things that do not provide services, just no, it's got no reason to be doing any business in our business. There are many options. The other one is to be cheap and just give them our Bitcoin. I don't know, man. I think I lost them in a boating accident, so I don't know if I can give it to them.
I've noticed it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, AC. I noticed a lot of Bitcoiners are losing their Bitcoin while they are out boating. I guess a good message for everyone is your seed plate, it does sink. Definitely don't go boating with your cold storage backup words. But back over to you, AC.
Well, you normally have a piece of paper like I do, and then with that piece of paper, sometimes you go boating, and yeah, you run the risk of losing your Bitcoin if you lose your seed like that. But shit happens, and you know what? I lost it many times. I lost my Bitcoin. I lost them so many times I just can't remember. But it is what it is.
Yeah, 100% agree. Let's just do two things before we dive into the tax conversation too far. The Bitcoin price today is at 63,812, has come down from the high of 66,000, but is like we were talking about before the show, it's pretty much at 58K. 63,000 was the low in the last 24 hours. 66,000 was the high in the last 24 hours. But I don't know if you saw this one, AC. Mark Moss put this out there, and if I can get rid of that pop-up, this answers the no coiners reply, but you can't pay taxes with Bitcoin. I wouldn't advise it, nor would I advise paying your taxes with Bitcoin, but it seems like the dumbest thing to do with the world's hardest money.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's exactly.
People gotta be aware that any transaction on Bitcoin is, on the legacy highway. I call it highways. We got the legacy, we got Segwit, we got Taproot, and we got Lightning. So tracking on a higher level net is a lot harder than tracking on legacy. And that's why people want to do high value transactions on the legacy network instead of doing it on a Lightning network. It's more transactional for speed and short value or low value items that you want to acquire with Bitcoin on places where people accept Bitcoin.
Yeah. Do you think, just on the Lightning verse on chain, do you think we are going to see higher and higher transactions over the Lightning network as it builds up liquidity, or the big settlements are always going to be on the base chain?
I think maximum for a node on we have to choose in which part of time on the timeline we speak. So please tell me, in which year do you want to speak about? How do we see things happening over there?
Let's just talk.
But I cannot tell it for everybody because I'm going to use the train parody that I spoke to you about earlier.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I think we should dive into that
Yes,
train framework in 2 secs. But let's keep the conversation for this cycle. Say the next 4 years from today's date. So we're
2028.
Yeah, 2028.
The US.
Yeah, next halving cycle. It's all kicks off again. History doesn't always repeat, but often it rhymes. So we'll keep the conversation focused on that. But maybe a good way as we dive into the tax versus fiat currency, and I've got a couple of fun comments there already in the live chat.
I haven't read anything yet. I don't want to distract from the information I want to share with you, and then
we'll get into
which data you take or not.
Yeah, right, we'll get into that at the end. But do you want to bring up your train framework? And I'll bring up full screen, and it's probably the best way to be able to show people. Then let's get into fuck the taxes.
Yeah. So fuck the taxes is the following thing. If you're saving in Bitcoin and you're acquiring your Bitcoin P2P, where only the coffee mug is the one is going to write you for that transaction, then those Satoshis are riding on the Bitcoin train. And if you continue measuring the value of your Bitcoin in fiat, you will always be manipulated. Stop it. You're getting on the Bitcoin train. Count your money, count your wealth in Bitcoin and health and in love. Those are the only 3 factors that you truly need in life to be happy. It's not about things. It's not about Lambos and all that shit. Fuck, I had lots of good stuff in my life. And I must say that not everything that is good is good. And not everybody deserves to have everything good for them, because certain things are there to teach them things. If you want to move into a Bitcoin economy, you have to think in Bitcoin, counting Bitcoin, paying Bitcoin, moving Bitcoin. And those citadels eventually will happen. But for that, the society needs to start understanding on how to transfer value in Bitcoin on a constant basis within a circle economy, as normally citadels start. We at the Bitcoin Corporation are working at various citadels with the intent to open the door to people of low resources but with capacity to be able to access an enclosed economy that would allow it to flourish because they can save in Bitcoin. Now I'm talking to you by the end of my life. That's my prospect of these things happening, but that's my goal, to help set up these Bitcoin economies, Bitcoin citadels, because it will allow the society that lives there to flourish. We already know that even if Bitcoin fiat price goes down, you have the same amount of Bitcoin. You have a quarter of Bitcoin, you get a quarter of Bitcoin. It's at 79,000 US dollars. You still have a quarter of Bitcoin. It's at $15,000. You still have a quarter of Bitcoin. So you divide that amount of Bitcoin, you divide by the amount of Bitcoin available, 21 million. Well, in reality, not 21 million, but 20,999,999.9967 Bitcoin. There's no more. If you divide it by that, you know what part of the global economy you have in Bitcoin. For people, for boomers, for Xers, for whichever other generation is right now available, this is the opportunity to move on to this new world. And to move into this new world, we have to stop thinking about fiat value. We have to stop thinking about hoarding stuff. We just gotta take from this planet and from our life what we need, and we have to add more to this life. That's what we came here to do. So my advice to everybody who is suffering prices, because I did some time, we all go through the shitcoin phase at the beginning, and then when we start studying, we realize that Bitcoin is the path, is the way. Bitcoin is the opportunity our generations have to fix this fucking fiat planet.
Yeah.
Simple
So,
as that.
like, it sounds like you're very much for the separation of money and state.
Yes, because we already separated religion from state. So let's go with the next step. I spent a good amount of time. I'm jumping into another topic. Let's finish the freaking Bitcoin parody. I'm going to turn
Let's
on a
bring it
little
up.
bit more lights because I think we need more lighting. Just a little bit more. And this is the train parody. There you go. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it complete?
Yeah, we can see it complete. Yeah.
All right. So every time you stack sats, you go into a stacking station. We're still at 58K. I'm going to prove it to you in a few moments. But first, I just want to show you the train parody. So in this case, when you get into the Bitcoin train, stop looking at the fiat train because it ends up here.
Have fun staying poor.
Yeah, fuck it. So just buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. When you buy Bitcoin, you get more Bitcoin, you get more Bitcoin, and then whatever happens, you still have the same amount of that part of the global economy. It's our theory at the Bitcoin Corporation in the accounting department that one Bitcoin will be enough to set up a citadel of about 20,000 people. Because as you know, in the units of Bitcoin, 21, let me go for this date. I like to confirm it instead of just saying out of memory. It's always good to confirm and to verify. 21 million Bitcoin is 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. And 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis is 210 sextillion Nakamotos, which is 100 of 100 million of a Bitcoin. Sorry, 100 million of 100 million. I don't want to confuse it. It's the same proportion of a Satoshi towards a Bitcoin is a Nakamoto to a Satoshi. And citadels will be using Nakamotos because a Bitcoin will be, it is so scarce. It's not that it's very valuable. No, the value comes from its scarcity and its functionality. So when you look at one Bitcoin, it does have, I have the number here, just right calculated. It has, one Bitcoin has 10 quadrillion Nakamotos. So it's 10 quadrillion Nakamotos. So it's 10 to the power of 15. 10 to the 10 of the power of 15. That's the amount of Nakamotos you have in one Satoshi. So obviously, things that are moving and that are being paid and compensations and all of those things will be in Nakamotos or in Satoshis. So a house will be worth, I don't know, 500 Satoshis. A freaking penthouse downtown, 500 Satoshis. Because
in what time frame?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to cut in there, AC. In what time frame are you sort of thinking, like within our lifetimes?
Like I said, I think probably first citadels will be within 15 years, 15, 25 years, we'll have citadels already operating. And like I said, by probably the end of my life, I would expect to, I guess I should be living around twice as much as I live right now, health-wise. And after that, it's not worth to being on a bed. So within that period of time, I think a total, the globe, at least the civilized world, that is a reasonable humanity group that worries about the benefit of everybody involved, some more, some less, but everybody at least with the minimum condition of proper living, as long as we have the resources, will be living in citadels. So in 50 years, the entire planet will be in citadels, not in the control of governments, because governments will start running out of resources because they don't shrink their budgets, most of them. And when you don't shrink your budget, every time any resource comes into your hands, it wastes away. And for that reason, they will start selling land to citadels, which will be, of course, nation cities. And those, of course, will be running economically based on Bitcoin. And that will give us the opportunity for people to help other people who want to help other people instead of just abusing them and exploit them, as currently the different tax farm administrators like to do.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Let's transition, because I guess everyone wants to pay low taxes. AC, to be very clear.
Wait, we have to do something first, as you and I agree, which is the explanation of why we're still at 58K. Here's the thing. I'm gonna gaslight
58K gang forever.
Yeah, it's not forever. It's just there's a 58K station. That's what we're currently at. Earlier we were at, I believe, 9K stacking station, and now our current stacking station is 58K. Because when you value Bitcoin, if you're going to use the fiat system, which is most of what you guys are doing it, young fellows, welcome to Bitcoin. But here's the thing. If you value fiat, you have to always make an adjustment for inflation. And the effect of the adjustment for inflation of Bitcoin on Bitcoin price is minimum. It's 450 Bitcoin nowadays. About what? $25 million a day? Something like that? It's not a lot of Bitcoin coming into the economy. So Bitcoin inflation, although is below zero, below 1 currently, it still makes no significant effect into the Bitcoin price. But what does generate effect on the Bitcoin price is not only the demand and offer, but also a third party that nobody's looking at. And guess who is that? The Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve controls the emission primarily above the government's policies. Even though people say, no, Federal Reserve is an independent unity that has autonomy and general autonomy and reports to the Congress of the United States. So the government doesn't control it, although they call out certain conditions. The banks that owns it, they of course also own the politicians, so they like to make the show in Congress. Oh, we're a bit pissed off you and so on and so forth, but we'll know it's just a show. It's a good show, but we'll know it's a show.
That's a circus, I see.
Oh, fuck. So if we look at the inflation rates, the ones that they have provided the general population, here's the thing. Take these beautiful numbers. 0.58% inflation in the United States in 2019. We know that's false, but no, in 2020, 1.2%. In 2021, 4.7%. In 2022, 8%. In 2023, 4.1%. Are those inflation numbers a bit low? Well,
they're fucking made up, man.
Let's say no. And let's use those numbers so the guy, Greg and Jello, know what the fuck is going on. The first time we hit 58K, if I recall correctly on a database, it says March of 2020. Here we go. Yeah. First time we hit 58K was March 20 of 2021. There you go. And from, if you take 2021, then you need to apply the inflation to the 58K value. So 2021 had 4.7% inflation. You get 58,000 times 1.047 inflation. That means that at the end of 2021, Bitcoin should have a price of 60,726 to still be valuable at 58K on acquisition capability.
Yep.
Careful, because this will end at a very sad story for the people who are still stuck at fiat, but I'll tell you why. It's not a matter of perception, of course. Then if you take that, you go into 2022, you have to apply 8% of inflation. So you multiply these 60,726 times 1.08. And that means that Bitcoin should have a value at that time of 65,584 to still have the same capability of acquiring things, or let's say value, acquisition value of Bitcoin by the end of 2022. 65,584. And if you go at the end of 2023, Bitcoin should have hit or should have kept with an inflation of 4.1%. Here you go. So it should have been Bitcoin this year to still have the value of $58,000 as $58,000 did on the 20th of March of 2021. Bitcoin should have been currently at 68,273. So we're not.
So we're not even at
58K.
58K.
We're below 58K. So we're still at 58K stacking station. And here's the thing. People say, well, but that you're not taking into account other factors. Fuck, I'm not taking into account anything else because everything else is noise. It's noise. And here's the thing. You can't measure Bitcoin in fiat. It's just stupid in so many ways. First of all, fiat is designed to attack Bitcoin because Bitcoin is designed to kill fiat. It's a sad story. Fuck yeah, but we need to change the way we live. This fiat system is ending the planet, is ending society. We are currently in the hands of pedophiliac, satanic, communist, you name it, and we know it.
Yeah.
The elephant is in the room and we can see it. It's like white wall that they say that they are good. They're not good at all. They could care less about you. They want you poor to have nothing and still be happy. I don't know about being happy, not having anything, but I know about being happy and having Bitcoin and not paying them anything.
Yeah, truly, I guess that aligns so much, AC, with myself. This truly is the separation of money from state. Yesterday, we were talking about Coinbase, and people are not able to get their Bitcoin off Coinbase and stuff. And it wasn't happening for everyone, but it happened to a lot of people. I got a lot of reports over the weekend, people going through there just now, and people like, oh no, my Bitcoin's on Coinbase, it's just fun. And I'm like, if it's working for you now, like, that's great. Just get it off the fucking exchange while you have the chance with your freedom money. We've got this limited opportunity right now, and people just want to keep their head in their fucking sand and be like, it's all going to work out. No, the problems that are actually fucking going on today, over the weekend, right now, where people can't get their exchange. It never happened to me. It's all right. Coins are safe. Maybe they are, but fuck taking that risk. We've got this opportunity right now, this little slice of time to be able to change our lives, to be able to change our friends, our family, to be able to change the world. And people are fucking lazy and want to leave it on the exchange. So I guess we should go into sort of not paying tax. And look, fuck the taxes. The best way is just literally not to sell the Bitcoin. They're incentivizing you to hold on to Bitcoin. But I guess...
Sorry, continue, please.
I was just going to say, and that's the way I approach it. AC, it sounds like that's the way you approach it. Most people here in the live chat are probably hodling their Bitcoin, you know. They buy, stack, and chill, and they just stack those sats for a better day. But some people are going to look at selling. It's the reality of the situation. What are some of those things that people can maybe pay attention to, or they can do to be able to reduce their tax bill, you know, come tax time? Because IRS or whoever it is, you know, within their own jurisdiction will want their fiat gains.
Okay, I understand your question now. So here's the thing. And long time ago, a friend of mine, very happy, called me telling me that he bought some Bitcoin. In fact, that he had bought some Bitcoin before I told him about Bitcoin, which made me very happy. And I said to him, where do you have it? And I said, I have it at Coinbase. And I said, you have it there? And he said, yes. He said, please do not buy more Bitcoin. He said, how come? Do not buy more Bitcoin. He said, but it's mine. Yes, it's yours, but it's already registered. Bitcoin transactions have an infinite chain when it comes to time and the UTXO management, which implies that it would always be trackable. It's always trackable. You should not do bad things on Bitcoin, especially if you are registered with an exchange, because it's traceable. You can track it. It makes no sense. It's like going and stabbing yourself in the chest with a knife, like that meme. Don't do it. Just the Bitcoin that you have in your exchanges currently, the best thing you could do is to pull them out to your own wallet and save it properly. But the additional Bitcoin that you will be acquiring in the near future, which will be Bitcoin that you buy P2P, put it in another wallet. What are you gonna put it with the same wallet? Don't mix X and dirty eggs, because those dirty eggs will always pay taxes. Will always pay taxes. I don't care what you tell me you're gonna do. If you start doing the mixing and the twisting and the turirixing, it's gonna end up in trouble, because you are meddling with a technology that, even though all the bases existed, the integration that Satoshi Nakamoto did created a perfect plane level above the fiat system where we all can move to. But don't bring the link of data to the Bitcoin economy, mixing your P2P Satoshis with your KYC Satoshis. It makes no sense. Leave it to the boomers who don't want to understand Bitcoin, or leave it to the New York investors and all of them, and we wait for a 6102. And we will be eating popcorn and enjoying the show, because it's going to be funny as fuck. We told them to get them out, and then the government came in, and like Roosevelt did in the 1930s in the US, they're going to do it again. And there's no way to walk around it. And after they do it, they will go to the people who took those Bitcoin out of the exchange. They're going to start getting their documentation from the IRS. Hey, dude, what happened here? You took this out. They are in this address with this balance. And 2 months ago, they moved from there over their half, and the other half went to somebody else. We want to know the names, and you have to pay us taxes if you sold it. And then the show starts. So don't mix those with any new Satoshis you acquire on a Bitcoin conference where you met somebody that you were able to verify that you can trust them partially, because in reality you cannot trust anyone. But at least find a way to do business where how Satoshi meant it, person to person. I had the privilege of doing this Bitcoin transactions all over the planet, and it's an amazing sensation when it's close, and it's even a better sensation when it's far away.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing tech. I guess on the KY free Satoshis, because most people do go on to a centralized exchange and buy it. The two big ones to really look into is BISC, BISQ, and HODL HODL for KYC peer-to-peer. For people, there's plenty of options where you can meet up with people in real life, and exchange the dirty fiat.
That's where you make a transaction.
Just really quickly,
I don't know, $100. Make $100 transaction. Get to know the person. Learn how to do business with that person, and in the future, because there are Bitcoiners who are selling, we call it raspaito, just the tip of the nail, and they still have a whole bunch of Bitcoin, but they are willing to sell a little bit. And when you buy those, those are yours. Nobody knows about it. You can take them in your head. So don't mix those with the ones you get off the exchanges, because you're gonna kill yourself with that.
You definitely need to have a separate dedicated hardware wallet, and just
Stake and money.
keep them. One the government knows about, the other one the government doesn't know about. I do want to bring up today's sponsor, the Bitcoin Way. Really, if you need help with KYC,
idea. Go ahead.
or KYC free Bitcoin, there's a link at the top of the description. The first 30 minutes is free, as well as helping you source your Bitcoin. They can help you get it off the exchange and make sure you are protected. If you've seen my videos, you know I bring these guys up every day. They are simply the best with the cybersecurity side of Bitcoin. Reach out to Tony and the team. Do see a few people there in the chat now running their own nodes due to being with the Bitcoin Way there. But I think it's a pretty important point that you brought up, of having those two wallets and separating it, because the government with KYC Bitcoin, if you spend it, especially if it's going through the centralized exchanges, they are going to have their hand out. They're going to be there.
They're doing already. They're doing already. They've been doing it for a long time. Bitcoin started being attacked since 2013 with the hit to Silk Road. That was the first hit, and then the shitcoins are basically an attack on Bitcoin. And of course, then the hard forks and so on and so forth, and the block size wars. So all these things that the fiat system is trying to do, they're not going to work. We already won. It's just the people that are getting into Bitcoin need to hop on a plane and look into the train, live in the way this train is taking us.
Yeah. So, and as an accountant, I see, like we've got a company and we've got a trust and different things here for different businesses and that we're running. But when you are talking to high net worth individuals or just clients in general, how are you approaching that conversation of putting vehicles in place if they are convinced to come in, I guess, for the number go up side of things? I guess the conversation that we're having, it takes a little bit more than a couple of 100 hours worth of research to really understand that Bitcoin is the money. It is this tool of freedom, of sovereignty, to be able to give you dignity, truth back in your life, in every area of your life. Yeah. That's not something that just happens day one Bitcoin. Day one Bitcoin, people come and be like, oh, Bitcoin, it's not dead. No, it's going up and to the right forever. Okay, well, I better get some, because they're thinking about getting rich in fiat terms. And that's all well and good if people want to play the fiat game. It's just more of the same nonsense. But if people want to take profits or whatever, at the start of that journey, are there things that you will talk to clients about putting in place so that later down the track, if they are here just for the number go up side of things, they're going to be better off down the track?
I got no advice with the people who come here to make wealth on fiat. It's not my business to be involved with them. Plus, on the fiat world, I am a mechanical engineer with a specialization in power transmission systems, with an MBA from one of the most accredited universities in the United States. And I'm also specialized in international business and 10 more things. But on the Bitcoin world, I'm the accountant of the Bitcoin Corporation, an informal company where people collaborate on their own interest of being able to evolve into this new world. And it's a complex process to do because you require an open mind. You are required to forget the fiat world and to be able to enter the Bitcoin world. And that's a difficult process to do. So when it comes for me to orange pill someone, it's like I said before to another individual, you explain them first the problem. Your liquidity is being deteriorated through the process of inflation. And inflation is like if you have a liter of water and you're in a pool that has 1,000 liters and suddenly you have 1,000 of that pool under your control. But if the pool is not kept the same size but multiplied by 100, you have 100 of your original pool proportion in regards of water of that pool. And they are playing the inflation game, but suddenly Bitcoin spikes above that inflation lane that they're trying to control us with. And when I say trying to control us, is you fiat guys that are in Bitcoin. Don't just stack more sats, because every time you stack more sats, it's going to be a higher number under your control of energy, of monetary energy that can be transferred all over the world within a single transaction without asking anybody for permission. All those people who did not pay attention and did not believe what we were talking about, which is get your Bitcoin of these changes. Now you're learning from it. But it's interesting that this lesson of not getting the Bitcoin of the exchanges has never been learned on time. Mt. Gox, FTX, and who knows, Coinbase, maybe soon, never know. But this rumor about Coinbase not having the respective Bitcoin that they're offering the ETFs, fuck, we started it. We started memeing about it because if you cannot prove it, they are not yours.
Yeah. And they have zero reason not to prove it. They're saying it's for client security, but they can publish proof of reserves without labeling each individual wallet with how much is in each individual wallet. It's total bullshit. And even River reached out to them and said, you can use our proof of reserve model for free. It's open source. And there's something going on for whatever reason. It may be good or it may be bad, but there's some fucking reason that they don't want to put those proof of reserves out there. I just gave you numbers
based on inflation. We're still below 58K. And Yellow says, no, we're going to 100K, 66K. Fuck the puppet and fuck the potato. Because in reality, we're below 58K. And 58K is going to continue to go higher on fiat terms because they keep inflating. You have to understand that if people base their intent into getting into Bitcoin just because of the fiat price, it's going to be a very painful process, as some of you have suffered this what's called bear market, but in reality it's called a stacking market. It's your time to buy. Because 10 days of the year, you're going to be laughing your ass off to a 10x. Excuse me, to a 30x that ends up in 1-2 years later in a 10x. So you get these peaks, and then it goes slow down to about a third of what the peak was. That's how Bitcoin has operated lately. Let's talk it in a manner of, let's say, a general manner. Now, trying to use the power law, trying to use the SBF or S2F models, they're all destroyed.
Definitely don't use the FBS model.
Dude, they're all destroyed. None of them are useful. Why not? Because the Federal Reserve sometimes print more, sometimes prints less. That's it. And until you figure it out who's printing here and there, we don't know. So the Bitcoin price is just a bet. But that attack, the attack on Bitcoin price only started on December 2017 when the futures on the CME market were open. That's when the fiat lords decided, fuck, we got to attack this on the price, because they were attacking it on the infrastructure. Hey, China, get the people out. No, they couldn't. Again, yes, we get them out. The people, is like, by that time, in 2017, China already had banned Bitcoin probably about the 8th or 10th time already. And then the futures came in and boom, automatically price went down. That was the first time that a Bitcoin dip is that drastic. I mean, I'm lying, because the Bitcoin dip was from 1,200 to 120, and then Bitcoin dip was from 21,000 to 3,100. So it was harder before. It was harder before, but it still was a very low value. So when you enter Bitcoin, it's $100 billion, $120 billion market cap. It's a big company. That's it. But now Bitcoin is a nation. Bitcoin is a metal It's the third metal in the world. Now this is a digital metal and it has value. Cheaper than silver, but you can transfer it. Cheaper than gold, but you can transfer it. But gold and silver, they produce it more. But Bitcoin, very little, 450 a day.
Yeah. Till 28, and then it cuts down in half again. And what is it 20, 35, 99 point something percent of the Bitcoin supply is mined? I'll bring up
I can confirm to you via what's called Clark. This is called something Clark Moody.
Clark Moody dashboard. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please do so. Go there, and there is a one of the blocks that is called Clark Moody. That one is called the mining, and it has the entire set. You have the time chain. That's good. We are at block 363,458,000, which is a beautiful number. At epoch 5, at the moment, we have produced 94.1% of the 21 million Bitcoin, and currently we have an issuance of 19.76 million Bitcoin. Our current subsidy on the fifth epoch is 3.125 Bitcoin. The current fiat price, who cares? Moscow time is 1569. It's a race to zero. That's the one we want. Market fiat price, who cares? It's all controlled. They are manipulating. I stopped caring about it after my third year in Bitcoin. Because it blew up so much that I say, fuck, I don't know. As long as it works, I think we have a chance. And it has a chance. There you go, Clark Moody. So you'll have the dates there on one of those tables. Please slide to the right. And it will give you, there you go, next. There you go, Bitfinex sliding, liquid side chain security. There you go, difficulty report and the mining. Stop. Mining economics, and I cannot zoom in. You can zoom in. 70,000. No, it's gotta be the halvings at the end. You had it at the end.
Yeah, sorry. When I zoom in at it,
Continue. You were doing good. There's one that says halving. There you go. The current epoch is the fifth epoch. We have 186,000 blocks to halving, and the estimate is March 29, 2028. At that time, there is another table that says the percentage of Bitcoin within Clark Moody that is being produced by that time. But currently, we're just not making any effect with the new issuance. I mean, 0.85% forward inflation is almost nothing. So what I will, there you go. There you go. Realized monetary inflation, 1.33%. That's the current inflation from here to a year past. And then the forward monetary inflation is the inflation that we'll expect or live with Bitcoin from this moment about a year from now, 0.84%. So it's becoming irrelevant. Every year, the issuance of Bitcoin is becoming less irrelevant into the economy on itself. We have enough money right now, and if we need more, we can subdivide it more. And the good thing about it scales on a safer mode. When in the citadels, people will be using Nakamotos to make transactions. I don't know, a cab ride is going to be 15,000 Nakamotos, just to give you an idea. I'm just guessing. People will know that if they have, I don't know, one Satoshi, they are set for life. One Satoshi. Yeah, but they live into a citadel under certain rules and conditions of whoever owns that citadel, because that person had to buy from the fiat system the entire land and buy the freedom for the people in his land. So those citadels will have laws different from other laws that people who enter there will have to abide to. And how they do that? An immigration process through a digital screen where you choose yes and no to the different conditions of the citadel. And people will enter those citadels already with an assigned job and a place to sleep and eat. We're talking 15 years from now, will probably be first citadel, as I mentioned earlier. So we have a long way to go. We have a painful way to go because this fiat system is not going to let it go easily. And sometimes Bitcoin will move above the pricing that they expect to keep, because we're still at the early stage or the first third stage of the S adoption curve. You have to take that into account, Sean, because once this thing, they have enough, they by now know that they don't have enough Bitcoin, at least the big guys. If Larry Fink is involved, everybody's involved. But they need to have the most to be able to sustain an economic control, because most likely they will run some wars. I bet you they will run some wars, and there will be attacks on mining facilities. I would not be surprised, which will imply that it will become a lot safer, a lot more efficient to mine at home. So because of the future fear war against Bitcoin, the mining facilities will move into a dispersed node. So for example, they come to your house and say, we'll give you five mining machines. You will get this subsidy for these mining machines. They will go to our pool and you'll get certain percentage. So now you cannot attack a mine because it's dispersed. So that happens as a reaction with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was attacked, 15,000 shitcoins. So who attacked now? Bitcoin, which is the most difficult to attack, or everybody else? So the SEC went against everybody else. So this is all actions, reactions, and we've been slave for probably the past 2,000 years with bad money.
Yeah.
And now we got Bitcoin, and like you said earlier, this is our chance to all these generations, because it's money that its incentives align humanity. These corrupt politicians, which trade before the laws are made and buy the land before the projects are approved, so on and so forth, they like Bitcoin too, so you know. And some of them already have Bitcoin. And everybody knows, at least the people who have money, that they need to have Bitcoin. So what happened now with Coinbase? Well, the wealthy are buying because they know what's coming. And I'll tell you what's coming with the US. The US has two options, or Trump or Kamala. Yeah. If Trump comes, Bitcoin shoots up something. But if Kamala comes in, oh, dude, hang on. Now Bitcoin shoots up hard, because the harder the system against freedom, the stronger Bitcoin and most valuable becomes. How much do you think it costs to buy one Bitcoin in Ukraine right now? It's at war. It should be expensive. Or in Lebanon, or in Palestine, or in Israel. In Israel, maybe not too much in certain areas that they've been attacked. Any place of conflict, Bitcoin is more expensive. So you have a spot price, but it costs you your freedom, because they have your digital data. Or you have P2P and you pay some premium, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100% in some countries, to obtain Bitcoin that is not registered, person to person. Then you're truly free. Because any other way is just trying to skip the system, and you cannot skip Bitcoin, and the governments already know that you cannot skip Bitcoin. So any Bitcoin you buy on a KYC institution is a Bitcoin that is going to be taxed the rest of your life. You already have them like that, fine, keep it like that, pay tax on that the rest of your life when you sell them. But if you don't sell them, they allow you to use it as collateral, and you can still play the collateral game with the fiat system, but you still have to mine some fiat to pay the loan. And if you have no registered Bitcoin, but you want to get a loan, go and register it. They lend you money against your Bitcoin, but you have to pay the loan and then get the Bitcoin out. So it's a free collateral, which you can, let's say you got, I don't know, 2 Bitcoin, and then you want to buy something that is worth an eighth of a Bitcoin, you have to normally put in a quarter of a Bitcoin right now. In the future, most likely it's going to be a lot less. But you still have to pay the loan back, because the fiat system requires that you go and mine fiat to pay it back. Now, if you took the loan and Bitcoin shoots up, you should be able to get most of your Bitcoin back, because if they can liquidate you, you can pull your Bitcoin back. You're given a warranty. It gave you a 10x, and you only wanted 1x a warranty as the inquiry. They give you back your 8x. But that's a risky game to play. And I personally like saving. I invest in my companies. I invest in my hobbies. I invest in my loved ones. I don't invest. I save.
Yeah.
And before, we couldn't save in anything. We couldn't save in the house because maintenance, taxes, renovations, it eats it all up. So you have to, at least you have to invest in a place to have a place where you can enjoy. But having too much on it, you become a slave of what you own. Having too many toys, they cost, it's expensive. Having Bitcoin, self-custody, non-KYC, best thing in the world.
That is.
So at least we know where we're going. But not everybody's getting there. It's a lot less people than what you think. I have the largest group that I have on Spiel was 22 people at the same time. And out of those 22 people, only 2 invested relevant amount of money. 17, that gives you 19. 17 invested a tenth of the second one. And 3 people lost their keys. One installed it on an iPad of their family. So even the dog used the iPad. I'm sure the dog stole the Bitcoin. I'm sure. Or the puppet, whatever. The second one, he downloaded the wallet, received the Bitcoin, and then deleted the wallet, and then downloaded the wallet later on and wrote down the seed. I just wanted to smack him, but I kind of did. And then the third one just didn't even write the seed.
Yeah.
So Bitcoin is not for the stupid, not for the lazy, not for the... I have 2 other people who should not be having any Bitcoin, but let me see if I have it here. I promise I should never take so many notes. It's not for the tricky, because the tricky will always want the tricky. You know, the shady. They will always want some yield. So they always want to invest it with a friend and get some more money. They will lose it. And then the third one, Bitcoin is not for the fiat lords. It's not for them. And they should not have any. And that's why they have a lot. Imagine being a giant on a planet that is 2 feet in diameter, and you're a 50-foot giant. It would be a problem for them. Having so many Bitcoin would be a problem. If the average person should have in the range of about 230,000 Satoshis, if I recall correctly. 200, or 20,000. Let's use a number, 20,000. What the fuck is a person doing with 10,000, 15,000, 500,000 Bitcoin? Or than Satoshi that laid the grounds for this new world economy? Nobody else. What for? What are they going to do with that? They want to do yield. Well, it's a trap. I like Mr. Saylor. I appreciate him a lot. He's been very helpful, but he's still in the fiat system. They're all in the fiat system. Most of you are still in the fiat system. And we will only become a Bitcoin planet when Bitcoin takes the entire world. Now, the entire world, no. The people who can acquire assets and realize the opportunity they have in Bitcoin to make a better world for them and for theirs. Many believe that they have already set it up for theirs and for themselves. Let's call them the fiat lords. But many more, no. So what do? Let them only shit? No, it's not fair. Now, I understand why Mr. Gates wants to kill the world. Fuck yeah, if somebody would have put a cake like that to my face, fuck him. But he's crossing the line pretty bad. Now we have a problem.
Yeah, he's
and
trying to.
he's trying to kill us all. So we
Oh
gotta
man,
tell
he's
him
out
to
of
chill.
control.
If yeah, if I forgot his name.
Klaus Schwab.
No, Klaus Schwab. No. That we just talk about him. Microsoft, Bill Gates. If
Bill Gates
wants to
Yeah.
kill us all, no, excuse me, Bill Gates is listening. I would say, Mr. Gates, please chill. Please chill. I know we are not. You are very offended. Very offended. That should not be done at that magnitude because he was mean. I mean, the guy was a nerd when he was a kid, so I'm pretty sure he got beaten up many times. So, but no, I mean, he doesn't need to kill us all. Now, I'm worried about the left in the US. It's too tragic. They want the end of the war, and it shouldn't be like that. We don't need another war in this planet. We're tired. Palestine, Israel, fucking stop it. We're tired of that shit. From the tax farm that I was born in, since I was born until still happening, we're at war. Fuck, stop, people. These people are nuts, man. And these people who we're talking about, these nuts people, are what we call humans. You and I are human beings because we realize the importance of harmony within society, not just in our houses or in our lives, no, in society. And these other people know they like chaos because they profit out of chaos. And the fear system grows out of chaos. You need to get off the fiat train. You need to hop on the Bitcoin train, count your wealth in Bitcoin because one Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin. Let them print. Let them brrr, because they need to. 35 trillion debt, 1 trillion in interest only. I mean, a lot. And people are not seeing it. Jay Powell said it last time. He said it's unsustainable.
Yeah, very
But
much.
I'm more worried about you guys. New Zealand, Australia. Fuck, they got you by the nuts.
It's fucking wild here in Australia, mate. At the moment, we've had a little bit of pushback against misinformation, disinformation bill. A lot of protests, a lot of rallies over the weekend. The opposition has said they'll oppose it, which is a small step towards freedom. But it's just one government. They'll come out with some more dystopian, tyrannical shit designed to be able to control people, and they just want it to be their own idea. But at least we've got a little bit of time. And sometimes time can make all the difference.
Not so much. Sorry to say that. Not so much. Because early last week, the UN signed this WHO agreement for one world identity.
Yeah.
I believe Russia and Iran did choose not to sign. And you know what? My Citadel also chooses not to sign. So I'm not going to sign any WHO thing. I'm registered into several tax farms in this planet. I pay taxes to each its own. I hate paying taxes, but I do pay them. Minimum as required under the law, but minimum. And anything that I can and I will go into Bitcoin. It has to. I don't want to live more in this planet full of corruption. We have to fix it.
Right. Yeah. And thank fuck that we have Bitcoin, because we do have a solution to. There's that saying, AC, Bitcoin fixes this. And people within Bitcoin will say Bitcoin fixes about every single thing. And while it may not 100% be factually accurate, it's pretty close. It's like 99.99% of things Bitcoin will fix.
Exactly that number. Exactly that number.
Yeah. Let's
go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's dive.
One short more thing is
go for it.
People give you happiness. Things People give you love, things give you happiness, and money gives you security. Have them all.
Yeah.
But the money that we have right now, the fiat money, it doesn't give me security. It's constantly being deflated. So we need to have a good money to fix this world. And yes, 99.99999% fixes this.
Yeah, 100% agree. I reckon we should dive into a couple of these comments here. This one may be, I'll bring it up. If we can answer it, we can answer it. If not, can't. But AC, is it possible to use a foreign trust that invests in real estate to defer capital gains for USA citizens? I've heard rumors.
Yes, but it's too risky, because if you get caught, you get caught. It's a lot easier to do it through open source code.
Yeah, not worth taking the risk.
On a programmable wallet with a DAO is a lot easier. Oh, you got a dog.
Yeah, I got two. This is my little boy Chester. He never comes on the show. But Luna is the wild little one. They've obviously just been let out downstairs. Hey, little honeys. All right, goodbye. Love you. See you, puppies. All right, let's.
That's fucking cool. I love dogs.
Oh,
congratulations.
Man, they're the best, and I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I don't think there are dogs backwards are God, but they bring great joy. Steve Smith, I'll try to remember the context for this. That's all very well, but under threat of violence, you're either leaving the jurisdiction or it's fucking stuck in a known address. Yeah, if it's a known address, I guess that's why KYC free Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Way can help you there, or you can go out, do your own research. There are places, peer-to-peer exchanges. There's also the option to mine Bitcoin. There's also the option to earn in Bitcoin. There's little things you can do, and it doesn't need, like, say, let's just pull a number out. You've got 100 Bitcoin. You've stacked really hard, and you've got 100 Bitcoin through the exchange. It's a known address. Through working, you may not get your KYC-free Bitcoin up to the same amount. It only may be a fraction, like 1%, 10% or something. But that 1% or 10% will ultimately be worth more than the 100% that's in a known address, just by stacking slowly, accumulating it, holding it there. And it is something well worth looking into. But Steve, yeah, I agree. If it's in a known address, not everyone's going to go out boating or say fuck you to the IRS. And I guess they incentivize us to
go boating as much as possible. And I'm willing to pay the taxes that I'm indicated by law and that are the minimum indicated by law also. Now, here's the thing. The state has the power to put you in a metal cage if you don't pay them what they tell you you have. Just this month, starting October, my account will be zero fiat money. Because of the local IRS. And you know what? I'm fine with that, because if they don't put me in jail because of that, I'm fine with that. But it will come a time, and it's here already, where they can do nothing. Because you can have your money in your head. What else can you have your money in your head? With what else? Nothing else. Bitcoin. So it's this opportunity for us to be free. And I've been free since 2016. I'm fucking proud of it.
Yeah.
The problem of owning locally registered assets is that you have to pay taxes on those. And they have them, and you got to pay them. Now, if you want to be truly free from the state, renting Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin, paying Bitcoin, and living a citadel. But a citadel, again, is a ruling under a much more, how do you put it, rational authority. Because for you to enter a citadel, you will have to approve the entire set of conditions of the citadel. And if you don't like condition 99, you're not going to put yes, unless you're very hungry.
Yeah.
But for the rest,
Yep.
other things, we have now the ability to tell the state to fuck you. It's not your business. Do it. But you gotta get into Bitcoin, and for you to get into Bitcoin, you gotta find the places where there is a Bitcoin information, Bitcoin logos, Bitcoin meets, Bitcoin people, and you find Bitcoin people all over the world, and you can nowadays. I can recognize people who is into crypto. I hope one day I can recognize people who is only into Bitcoin. I don't want to talk to shitcoiners, but there are a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of doing the due diligence.
I gave a talk at a festival, which was a pretty interesting full circle experience. I can go into it in another podcast, but there's a few people interested, which was really good. And I'm just pushing the message of Bitcoin only. And then people are like, what about ETH? What about XRP? And you're like, fucking hell, like it's just Fiat 2.0. They probably are worse than Fiat in general because they're digital and the heuristics are totally there and they're totally manipulated. But it's sad to see that even people that have been in the space, so this person that brought it up had got into Bitcoin well before me. So I think they've been in here for like 8 years. They've been here for 5 years now in a couple of days. Okay. And you're like, how can you be in Bitcoin for so long like that and then still be buying shitcoins and thinking, they're going to go to the moon? And even if they do go to the moon, it defeats the whole point of what Bitcoin is. And like in our lives, if you want to invest in a technology, there's stocks and stuff. They don't need to be unregistered securities, but it's and even all that side doesn't worry me. But it's the insanity of talking to these people that I just can't deal with. I'm just like, have fun. The tricksters.
The tricksters. Remember, Bitcoin is not for the stupid, it's not for the lazy, it's not for the tricksters, and it's not for the fear lords. The fear lords are going to isolate themselves with a whole bunch of Bitcoin. That will be their hell. What do you do with 30,000 Bitcoin? Tell me what you do with that. I give you 30,000 Bitcoin now. What do you do, Sean? It's just too much money.
If you gave me 10,000 Bitcoin.
10,000 Bitcoin. What do you do with 10,000 Bitcoin?
I'd give it a lot of it away.
That's the logical thing. Because 10,000 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin is a lot of money. A normal human being needs less than half a Bitcoin. Less than half a Bitcoin to live very well in a year. A normal human being. Not this whole bunch of, we that are in the internet and we went to universities and all these yuppies, all we privileged people that have enjoyed the benefit of having a father and a mother and people who loved us in our lives and gave us the opportunity to educate ourselves. Not as yuppies, but a whole bunch of other people will never, ever need more than half a Bitcoin of current value Bitcoin to live in a year. What is a person doing with 100 Bitcoin? Or 1,000? Or 2,000, 5,000, 3,000? That's called greed. And you know what's the problem with greed? That the best company for greed is loneliness. And a lonely person will always do stupid stuff. It's lonely.
Yeah.
So I think the Bitcoin will isolate us. Will isolate Bitcoiners from the rest of the planet. And I believe they will be cheap and people who is, I was talking with, life is very interesting. Suddenly I'm currently involved in an emotional relationship with somebody who promotes CBDCs. here's the, because I was analyzing the situation. I was going, no, this is fucked up. No. This is an opportunity in my life to understand their mindset, other than the extreme leaders who wants us all poor and be happy and have nothing. The people who is involved supporting them. She's a gorgeous woman, very smart, works in technology, has been there for her whole life, and is really respected in the meeting. And she's telling me that most of the people, they don't want to worry about anything in life. They just want to wake up, work, do their stuff, have their football game on the weekend, whatever, and then do the same the rest of the rest of the year, and then 2-3 times a year, or maybe one, have a trip. And that's it. They are happy with that. That people will be, from then and below, will be the cheap, will be the people who want to have that life, and CBDCs can give them that. But a whole bunch of inconveniences because their flights will be delayed, everything will be third tier. Even though they're enjoying getting the life that they wanted, it will be third tier. And then you will have the people who is successful at the fiat system, the fiat laws, and then of course us Bitcoiners. So interaction is going to be quite interesting in the future. Very interesting.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing an update, AC. I just want to give a shout out to everyone that is watching live or watching the replay. I'd like to know what your biggest takeaway from today's show is. And if you haven't already, if you can hit the subscribe button, it's a small action that you can do to help spread the Bitcoin message. We are still under 58K adjusted for inflation. It's a bloody good opportunity for people that aren't aware of Bitcoin to start stacking Bitcoin, studying Bitcoin. The show is also sponsored by myself, a company that I co-founded, rarejerk.com.au. It's premium jerky. It is only available in Australia. It's small batch made, handcrafted, Michelin star chefs prepare this. They chop it up by hand. It's dried. It's put in the package. It's sent out to you. We've sold out of quite our bigger bags. At the moment, packaging wise, we do have more coming. Hopefully they arrive today or tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you order a bigger bag, I'll just round up. I'll send you a whole lot of the 95 gram bags, so you'll actually get more in quantity at the moment. And the original, it's just salt and beef. So it's keto and carnivore friendly if anyone is on that diet. But the link's in the description. I've also put the Bitcoin Accountant's X account at the top of the description. It's just under the first paragraph there. So if you go and follow AC over on X, a world of signal as well. But I'm going to bring you up full screen, AC, and the floor is yours. To give you 1 to 2 minutes if you'd like to leave the audience, I guess, with a final message for everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me here. As I said earlier, it's an opportunity to speak with people in other parts of the planet. Stop looking at fiat price. Just buy your Bitcoin. Get your sats. A proper proportion of Bitcoin in your life should be well enough to allow you to enjoy it. Don't kill yourself trying to get an amount that is impossible. Just do things well, save properly. And to save properly, you save in Bitcoin, because no matter what happens to the fiat price, if it's too high, if it's too low, it's the same Bitcoin that you have on your stack. So stay safe, take your boat trips every time you can, make sure you do it, stack sats, do it P2P, make sure you shit post, you become a professional shit poster. It's quite important that you learn how to make memes, even though if you use software that is on the trial period for more than 1 year, still make sure you make memes about Bitcoin so people can understand this change that is already here, but you have not absorbed it because you're still thinking in fiat. Thank you, Sean.
AC, thank you so much. And for everyone else, final message. Please do something nice for yourself today. Please do something nice for somebody else out there. Have a very beautiful day. Be blessed. Peace. And thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.